Well, how do, y'all? We're going to tear some stuff apart this time, and then hopefully turn it into something more usable. But anyway, it started off just by me putting my jacket on. So normally with a fleece thing kind of like this, you wouldn't want to get it around sparks or even like welding. Definitely not welding. But I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't wear this jacket. But if you can see right there, the zipper, I destroyed it just trying to put it on. So I no longer care if I melt part of this jacket. But the other side of that is what we're gonna tear apart to make a gate. So over here in my little boneyard, I know, now don't be judging me on the blackberry vines. I know, they're starting to grow back, but I had them killed. Anyway, it's a process. We got a little bit of property to take care of, guys. Anyhow, these things right here, if you followed the channel for very long, you know that my father-in-law worked at Walmart, and when they've gone through one of their different remodels, he brought home the shopping cart return racks or corrals or whatever. But anyway, I'll show you what we're going to do with them. So this in here is what used to bolt to that in there. They would literally, like right there, but this is like sideways. So imagine it standing up, and then this would bolt to it, and this end is where you would push the shopping carts in from, minus the cattle panels, because those weren't there. But anyhow, I say all that to say this. I'm going to cut these off right here because this is pinched down. I tried to recreate that on a press, and well, they kind of turned. So I'm using a hose clamp to create a nice straight line that I can drop my Sharpie. But anyway, you can trace around it and it'll be a true straight line instead of being all wobbly, and then by the time I get it straight, it's too short. But I'm doing all that to try and recreate another one of these, because this one bends up and over, and I'm going to have another one that bends up and over. And then down at the far end, I'm using this radius pipe to plug in at the height of a cattle panel. So if you can follow all that, then you're doing better than the average bear, because I can't even keep it straight in my own head half the time. Cutting it apart.
What you doing with it?
I'm making gate.
You're making a gate?
I'm going to rebuild the gate for the hayfield.
Nice.
Because it keeps breaking, and that's the second gate that I put there, but it is...
Yeah, it's
the forever gates aren't so much forever.
Yeah, no.
So, I'm going to make a Blair belt.
A Blair belt? Nice.
Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering what it was doing, and I came over and sparks were flying everywhere, so I have to come over.
Yep. That's what I'm doing.
Alright, I'll leave you to it.
Making noise and messes. That's what I'm good at.
You and me both.
Aw. And making batteries dead.
Oh no!
I don't like the grinder though. It makes them too hot. not my favorite way to weld. I hate overhead. Well, it's getting dark, so I'm probably going to have to stop for tonight so I can put the birds up, and then we will continue this tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and put this on the ground because that's a little wobbly. Yeah. All right, well, that's it for tonight. All right, guys, so hopefully this gives you a pretty good idea of what this is going to look like in the end. Currently, the wind isn't blowing real hard, but it has been all evening. So all these little guys are just joints to slip inside. And then this will go over the top, you know, as such. But that way it's just not a butt weld. It's actually got something inside of it. And then I'm gonna get a piece of channel that'll start down here and go all the way up and continue up past, and then there'll be a diagonal that comes down. I might even do a couple of them that sort of looks like a sunburst kind of thing. I don't know. That's just completely artistique. But anyway, I was able to cut all the pieces and get them kind of ground down and everything tonight, but I can't weld in the wind. I could put up a tarp, but it was blowing pretty hard, and I'm afraid it's just gonna mess the tarp up. And unfortunately, the garage is full of stuff. So anyway, that's pretty much what it'll look like. I still do need to make a bar that'll go from here to there and from here to there, but I've got a few bits and pieces to choose from. Anyway, and then one of these cattle panels will plop it down on there and we'll get it all welded up. And then I think, I got to look into it some more, but I think if I put self-etching primer on it, then I can spray paint it. Just rattle can it. It's farm gate, guys, not a show car. Anyway, that'll do for tonight. All right, guys, so the fact of the matter is, even though it is staying lighter longer, by the time I get done doing some errands after work and then finally do get home and get to work on what other projects around here are, yeah, as you can see, it still ain't done. So technically it's upside down, but this is kind of what I was talking about the other day. I'm going to have a little pivot pin down there, a pivot up here. These will get cut off, obviously, so it'll look more like that. And then that pivot right there, and then this one here, I went ahead and slid it over the top of this before I weld that on and weld this up and everything. But with a little bit of finessing, that channel will be able to slide inside of it, and it'll look something like, it'll be something similar to this. This is the wrong size pipe, but I need to get rid of the seam and round off these edges and stuff like that. So anyway, the idea is this one will be able to go up and down so that it'll go over top the hinge, like so. Boop. Now this does have a hole in it, so I could just put a cotter pin on it and make all three of them where they go up. But I like to do one so that it's down, and then you slide this up, and then something can't get its nose like underneath the gate and shove it up and knock it off the hinges. And then it's no longer a gate. It's just something to walk on. Well, that'll have to do it for this video, or it's gonna get really long. I hope to get it done before I had to wrap this video up, but you know what? Sometimes that's just the way life is. So stay tuned for the next one, I guess. We'll be on to bigger and better adventures after that.